Hey folks, got a little something different today. Back when I built the 389 from my Pontiac, right here in my little dark hollow garage, we didn't get any video of it. We got a lot of pictures of it, but I did find all the photos. I'm going to put them in a slideshow. I'm going to narrate the slideshow, talking about, the pictures as they go by. And I did find one video of the break-in when I broke in the motor. So come on, let's go check them out. Hey folks, welcome to the Dark Hollow Garage. So here we have a 1966 389. This is how it looked when I got the car. And I had just fired it up for the first time in this photo. It had ticky rocker arms and the lifters just were not pumping up. So I had to dive in and find out why. And it turns out it's because it's the poster child for the old oils. Isn't that just wonderful? So that was it. No messing around. Time to pull it and give it an overhaul. And we start the cleaning process, the long, never-ending cleaning process, getting this block ready to overhaul. To my surprise, the bearings didn't look all that bad. There's no copper. Here's the main. Here's one of the rods. There's no copper. And that's pretty amazing for the condition that motor was in. We get the pistons and everything out of it and the crank and started cleaning some stuff up, preliminary cleanup here. This is after 5 different cleanings with pressure washers and cleaning supplies and just initial honing on the cylinders, getting it cleaned up. It really did start to take shape. And here we finally have a block that's usable. Still a standard bore, believe it or not. Didn't have to be bored out. It was still within spec. And that told me what I needed to know as far as ordering parts. Now it's time to start the part ordering game. Nobody had a cam bearing install tool in my little town. So I ended up having to actually make one of my own. And it turned out really well. I mean, it worked. It worked perfect. It got them in lined up nice and straight, and I was just really surprised that I was able to pull that off. So now the cam bearings are done. With the block all finished and cam bearings installed and completely cleaned, honed, it was time to bag it up and get after the heads. So here we go. And I tell you, the heads cleaned up really fast. I mean, they really did. It was almost effortless to get the heads cleaned up. And they looked really good. And I started ordering parts for the heads. Alright, it's head assembly day. We got the valves lapped in. The heads are just really cleaned up super nice. We got new springs from Spots Performance. We got new keepers. We got new valve seals. Everything looked great. So it was time to go. All assembled. We took our time, put everything together. It went together sweet. It really did. Everything worked out great. So once we got this all done, I went ahead and just sat them on here. And this is when you start to get some giddy up go. You're starting to see this thing shape up. I really loved it. As you can see here, we were doing a lot of cleaning and a lot of painting and just getting everything ready for the build. It took quite a while to get this all cleaned up, but it came around really sweet too, and I was starting to really get excited at this point. All the parts started rolling in. We got brand new almost everything here, and I got it all laid out, kind of doing an inventory on it. And new oil pump. I mean, assembly time's getting real close now. Here we have the heads all refreshed. We got a 421 factory Pontiac intake manifold that I Cerakoted in silver. It's April 2020 now, and we are starting assembly. We are finally seeing something happen with this motor. We've been working on it for a month, getting it ready right here in the garage. You know, once you get to this point and the cam's in and the gears, timing gears, and all your pistons, you know, your rotating assemblies in there, and she turns real smooth, oh man, you really feel good at this point. I was going through my pictures and, you know, I never even took a photograph of the crankshaft or any of that. I must have just been too busy working. But here's a photo with the windage tray, oil pump. All that's pretty much ready to be buttoned up. Get the oil pan on. And there we have it. Oil pan's on. You really start to feel good about what you've got going on at this point in time, you know. It just, yeah, baby. Now, this motor's all stock, so I went ahead and Cerakoted, bead blasted and Cerakoted the factory exhaust manifolds. We're not building a race car here. We're just building a nice driver. Boy, I tell you, at this point, we're about ready to be smelling that exhaust. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Oh, man. Yeah, baby. Let's keep on going. Let's get this thing done. Ah, yes. More success. Now we've got our distributor in, got our wiring run, valley pans in, the valve covers, got them cleaned up and on. Now it's time to mate it up with the Turbo 400 transmission that we did all new seals on here. We had no idea about whether this transmission works, so we were taking a chance here. Turns out it shifts really nice. Ah, yes, there we go. It was a bit of a fight putting that thing in by myself with that transmission hanging off of there, but we got her down in there. She's in place. And talk about really, now your juice is flowing, man. I can't wait. Can't wait. All right, we got the intake carburetor all installed. This is like, you're so close. You're so close. Just got to get that radiator and da-da-da-da-da. Come on, let's get after it. Now she's all wired up to fire. Boy, we're getting closer and closer and closer. Ooh, the suspense is just building. All right, a little bit more time spent. Got the whole front end core support put on, radiator, hoses, blah, blah, blah. By God, we're about ready to hit that key. Hang on, because I got a video coming up with a break-in, too. All right, so here's our gauges. Now, this is when it was breaking in. She was at 2,000 RPM. She warmed up to 200. She was holding about, I don't know, 62, 61 pounds of oil pressure. And we're going to have the video coming up right now. Here it is, the high anxiety situation. Breaking that camshaft in. Good Lord, let's get this done. Now, after all that tense break-in, making sure that cam and lifters breaks in good, wears in together, the motor sounds great, everything's fine. You can just sit back and take 5 for a minute, you know, just reflect on what you've done, what you've accomplished. Thank God that it's running good and you're past this stage. It lives. It lives. All right, we're here at the end. This photo's 2 years after what you witnessed on the build. Guys, don't let anybody tell you you can't do this on a low to no budget in your own garage. You're looking at it. I'm sure I missed stuff in the narration of building it, but it's possible, guys. It's possible. Appreciate you stopping in with me today. I guess this is it for this one.